Okay guys, welcome tonight. Just going to be talking about the following 3 leadership skills: developing influence with people, effective communication, and decision making. These 3 skills will help your team focus and achieve a common goal for the organisation or the people you're leading. So obviously my leadership role as campus pastor at our Charm Haven campus, Hope Unlimited Church Australia, and directly obviously report to our senior pastors Mark and Darlene. Our campus membership is approximately about 800 with a regular Sunday attendance of approximately 700. I'm obviously responsible for the delivery of Sunday services and our midweek programs. We have around 5 part-time staff, 10 key team volunteers, leaders that help run the 10 departments for our program that I'm responsible for. So I want to just jump into our leadership skill number 1. Author and world-renowned leader John Maxwell defines leadership simply as influence. So with that determination factor as a foundation, we see that to be successful in leading and developing others, developing your influence with others, we must take it as a priority to develop that within ourselves. There are many keys in developing influence, but the most important one you need to do is to be genuinely interested in people. It's very important. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States, was credited with a famous quote: "No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care." When you show genuine interest in someone, listening to their life story, hearing their journey, finding out about their family, then remembering the details of the conversation, especially their name, very important, you open the door to connect with them. When connection is established, the level of trust is built, in turn developing your level of influence in the person's life. I just want to share what I've done well in that and how I can grow very simply with my current youth pastor. At the beginning of the relationship, it took time to take interest in his life, to gain an understanding of his family, his upbringing, which really just opened up his trust in me and that I genuinely cared for him, showing that genuine care, which was important. Not just about what he could do for me, but that I cared about him. This built a great connection and a base for positive influence. For this leadership relationship to grow, I feel that I need to be more aware of not talking too much, and about myself and also about my past experiences. And I've actually seen that open up, and I have that ability to support him better rather than just talking about myself all the time. Very good. Our leadership skill number 2 is the ability to effectively communicate as a leader. This can be the difference between your people, the team that you're leaning into you, or actually leaning out from you. The people that you lead need clarity. Your ability to clearly communicate expectations will be the difference between not only getting the result that you require, but also the level of satisfaction that people will gain in the work that they're involved in. When a team member does not have clear expectations or the outcomes, frustration can creep in. When they don't have those clear expectations, when frustration creeps in, motivation drops, and when motivation drops, the working relationship can be affected, and which then can impact the whole team. For communication to be effective, there needs to be an opportunity for communication to flow both ways. Come 2 ways. John Maxwell talks about having a posture that is open towards the people that you lead. They will feel more connected, and they will feel free to provide also feedback, and there's an openness for that feedback to come back into that communication. Feedback is not always easy to hear though, but it's really important that if we can receive it, it can change the way that we lead, and we become a lot more effective in our leadership. Just an example there for myself with our kids leader. We established from the beginning between the 2 of us a clear communication on what the expectations were, especially about the number of people that we wanted to see grow into the team, so that the kids ministry could really flourish, and that the leaders themselves could minister to the kids more effectively, so that there wasn't too much load on the team, but was spread more. One of the areas that I know I need to grow in is that I need to be clear in my expectations with my other team members as well. I can see some frustration creeping in, and I just need to be a little bit more open and allow that feedback to come, and I think that'll just help with that relationship. our leadership skill number 3. One of the key skill areas I think we need to develop is, as a leader, is our decision making. Again, John Maxwell, in his book, Developing the Leader Within You, highlights the fact that as there's more responsibility given to you, the decisions that you make become way more important. There's a lot more that rides on those decisions. Things to consider when making decisions are: do you have all the information? Is the information that you have valid and correct? Have I asked the right questions to the right people? And have I considered all the perspectives? And what will the impact be on this decision on all of those involved? Really great questions to be asking yourself and those around you. People often are indecisive due to the fear of making the wrong decision. So very critical that you go through those questions. Team members definitely appreciate honesty from their leader. When it comes to that indecision, if you can be honest with them. So if you can own, even when you've made a wrong mistake, that fear of making that wrong decision, if you're open to and honest to own it, be surprised of the response of your team. If you have the right and correct information as well, and consider all the options, that's spoken about to the right people, following the impact of the decision on others, just go and make the decision. Oftentimes, people don't like indecision. It actually builds a bit of distrust, whereas that openness to own it actually increases the trust. And to own that, they believe that you can make the correct decisions and do that. That trust will increase in there. Otherwise, the indecision can often cause there's a distrust in your team members and their ability to lead them. One of the things that I've done well in the past was the decision to hire our current office manager. It had a great outcome for our team and for the church. In her ability to perform the role and handling the tasks and people at the same time, the tension of that at a high level. Before hiring the staff member in this role, the team carried out all the tasks, which really put a lot of pressure on them. And those tasks weren't actually in their role descriptions. So they had to pitch in and do extra things that they actually weren't needing to do, or it was hindering their jobs and their tasks to do. The decision to employ this role really resulted in relieving the pressure from the team, enabling them to really concentrate on their KPIs and the tasks that they really need to do, and just really increased the effect and impact that they had to. She fit really well with the team, so that decision really was a good win in terms of what I brought into that decision, and also then just choosing her and not others. She fit in the role quite well. A couple of areas. One area I can grow in my decision making is to making sure that I listen to the perspectives of my team, considering what is essential for the decisions, and also just the impact that's on them directly. That's really good. So, just going through those 3 things again. As to recap, the first one about developing your influence with your leaders and with the people that you're there, really impacts on the focus for them, being out to empower them as a leader. That you have that influence over them. They feel confident, motivated, and they can be released to do their job and the tasks really well. In communication, effective communication, that ability to make sure it's two-way, that you're open, that you're honest, that you've got clear outcomes and clear expectations for everybody. Very, very key in that area. And also that ability to receive feedback. So that's, communication goes the other way as well. That you can help you adjust your leadership to be more effective. And then obviously that last one on decision making, as you increase in your responsibility, those levels of decision making become harder. There might be less because decisions will be done down lower at different levels, but the decisions that you make are a lot more critical. And so that ability to read the situation, get all the information that you need, making sure you're considering all the aspects and the perspectives of your team, giving all the right information and getting all the right information to make sure you have the decisions that are done well. So those 3 areas, work on those, we can discuss those at greater lengths as well, have a greater impact on the clarity of your team, empowering them, and making sure that you work cohesive together. Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Right on.